حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمدك اللهم سبحانك كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. نحمدك اللهم آناء الليل وأطراف النهار معترفين بسلطانك حامدين شاكرين لنعمائك. ندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يديم علينا نعمه ظاهرة وباطنة، وأن يلهمنا العزم والعزيمة والصبر والثبات على أن نحمده على تلك النعماء، اللهم آمين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت وهو على كل شيء قدير، شهادة قامت بها السماوات والأرض. ندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى ألا يحرمنا إياها لحظة لقائه، اللهم آمين. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه، أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة، وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. اللهم جزه عنا خير ما تجزي به مرسلا ونبيا، اللهم شفعه فينا شفاعة لا نعذب بعدها أبدا، اللهم اسقنا من حوضه شربة لا نظمأ بعدها أبدا، اللهم آمين. محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم طب القلوب ودواؤها، وعافية الأبدان وشفاؤها، ونور الأبصار وضياؤها. صلى عليك الله يا علم الهدى، ما هبت النسائم وما ناحت على الأيك الحمائم. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, our sons and daughters, boys and girls, the future of Islam, insha'Allah Rabbil Alameen. لازلنا مع الحبيب المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم، نبينا ورسولنا وقائدنا وقدوتنا وشفيعنا يوم الدين إن شاء الله رب العالمين. In several weeks before, we've been learning and educating ourselves about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. How much he sallallahu alayhi wasallam has contributed to the whole world. كرحمة وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. A mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who was sent to the whole world. We have learned a lot from him so far, but we can learn more and more and more and more. Last week we decided to emphasize one thing, one character of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to learn from him as much as you can, the character of the leadership, al-qiyada li-Rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his leadership in the community of Muslims at that time in Al-Madinah, his leadership in the battle of Uhud in particular, at what we talked about last week, and leadership in general, in order to learn from him as much as we can, in order to just look around and see what we're lacking in terms of leadership today and what we're lagging behind in terms of leadership today. Do we have a real leadership on the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or we have so-called leadership but never follow the way of Islam, never follow the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It is not, as I have mentioned before, just to study the life, his seerah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just for entertainment, but mainly to learn from him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to educate ourselves, and most importantly to apply from those lessons we draw from him sallallahu alaihi wasallam 1400 years ago, in order to help us nowadays in our hardship, in our challenges, and our problems we're facing as the Muslim Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the Battle of Uhud, as we have mentioned last week, it was mainly a revenge from the non-believers in Mecca. Why? Because they were mainly defeated in the first major battle of Islam, the Battle of Badr. They prepared themselves. They were more than ready in order to come and fight back, in order to seek revenge, in order mainly to kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and eradicate Islam from the face of earth. That's their planning. Mainly the planning of the enemies of Islam, the disbelievers in Mecca at that time. On Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's side was two opinions: either to stay in Al-Madinah and defend themselves, waiting for their enemies to enter Al-Madinah and to fight them back, or the other opinion, just to go outside Al-Madinah and face the mushrikeen, the disbelievers outside, to fight them and defeat them. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in favor of the first, to stay in Medina and to defend themselves and to defend Islam and Muslims. The other side was mainly those who did not participate in the Battle of Badr, the youth, the younger one. They prefer to go out and fight and defend Islam and Muslims. There was no revelation, there was no guidance from Allah, there was no a verse of the Quran to tell Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to do, but it was mainly a shura, it was consultation for all of them, with all of them, to see what should be done. Anyhow, they ended up having to go outside Medina to defend themselves and to defend Islam. A person who was in favor of the opinion of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, as we have seen, the leader of the hypocrites in Medina at that time. He felt really insulted when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sided up with that opinion of going outside Medina to defend Islam and Muslims. Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, at that time, he was really mad and very upset, and said his statement: "عصاني وأطاع الولدان ومن لا رأي له وما ندري على ما نقتل أنفسنا." He disobeyed me, and he sided up with those young ones, those who have no opinion, have no weight in the community, have nothing to do there, and we do not know why in the first place we're fighting. And not only that statement he gave, but also he had 1/3 of the Muslim army under his leadership. He gave the order and the command to that 1/3 of the Muslim army to withdraw, not to participate in the battle. The number of Muslims at that time, they were about 1,000. So to withdraw 1/3, so they ended up with only 700. While the camp of the mushrikeen, of the disbelievers, of the non-believers at that time was about 2,800. 2,800 people who came to fight. Even 15 women were participating in this battle. 300 camels in their camp as well. 100 horses under the leadership of Khalid ibn Walid at that time. He did not come to Islam yet. And 200 shields they were carrying in order to defend themselves. What Muslims had, only 700 people and 1 horse and 100 shield. The power is not comparable at all. You cannot make any comparison in order to tell what is going on. Definitely without any drawing any conclusion, it would be the victory on the side of the mushrikeen. Anyhow, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, along with the Sahaba, in that few in number, decided to be in the war in order to defend themselves and Islam. There was an order and command very, very clear from the leader Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to that group of Rumah, the shooters, under the leadership of Abdullah ibn Jubayr. They were 50 people. The order to them was to climb the mountain and to protect the backs of the Muslims down there in the valley. Any of the enemies coming, they shoot them. So they would be on the top of the mountain of Uhud. For those who perform Umrah or Hajj, they can visualize how the mountain would look like. They would be in the top, shooting any enemies of Islam, attacking Muslims and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and never come down whatever the situation is, as Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them. قوموا إلى مصفكم هذه فاحموا ظهورنا فإن رأيتمونا قد انتصرنا فلا تشركونا وإن رأيتمونا نقتل فلا تنصرونا. You stay there in that position, never come down. Protect our back, not to let the enemies of Islam come surrounding us from the back there. If you see us winning, victorious, don't even come down to us to help us and support us. Even if you see us being killed, don't come to help us. The order, the command was very clear to Abdullah ibn Jubayr with the 51 of Rumah, the shooters, on the top of the mountain of Uhud. What happened? At the beginning, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, along with the Sahaba, Ridwanullah alayhim ajma'in, were victorious. They won the first round of the battle. Though remember, less in number, less equipped, easily for the Quraysh people, for the mushrikeen, for the disbelievers to defeat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to kill all of them, literally. Yet they were victorious by the help and grace and the mercy and the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to show one like Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, Za'im al-Munafiqeen, the leader of hypocrites. Yes, you withdraw 1/3 of the army, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the army of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam victorious. What happened? Ar-Rumah, the shooters, under the leadership of Abdullah ibn Jubayr, saw that wonderful and a great victory, a sudden victory. They could not believe it. They totally forget the orders and the commands of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They left the top of the mountain and they came down to be with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba radwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. A very clear, obvious disobedience to the leader of the Muslim army, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very clear. What happened? Khalid ibn al-Walid, he was the leader of the horsemen, with him 100. Once he saw this happening, the shooters came down. It means that the back of the army of Muslims is not protected anymore. He can come in maneuvering way and surrender the army of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and restart the battle again in order to defeat them, to kill them. and Khalid did. Very clever, very smart, a great leader. This happened before he came to Islam. And they started the second round of the battle of Uhud. At that situation, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was about to be killed. Literally, about to be killed, injured severely. Many of the Sahaba thought that because of the first round of the battle, they were victorious. They went after the alms, the bounties, al-ghanaim. So they almost left the battlefield. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was alone by himself, and once the mushrikeen, the disbeliever, saw him by himself, they were planning in order to kill him and kill as many of the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Till Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam called the Sahaba in order to come and fight back with him, and they did. 7 of the Sahaba came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in order to protect him and in order to fight with him. 7 of them were killed. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam alone in the battlefield. One of the other people, the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, one of the greatest ever, Hamza, the uncle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Hamza was fighting right and left, very brave, very clever. He knows what should be done, and so on and so forth. But in the meantime, there was a very wicked plan, تخطيط, for him in particular, in order for him to be killed. Hamza. Who was the planner? Was Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan. Hind bint Utbah. What she was planning to? Her father was killed in the battle of Badr. Her uncle was killed in the battle of Badr. And her brother was killed in the battle of Badr. Beside the rest of those who were killed in the battle of Badr, around 70 were killed. For Hind in particular, she cannot take that situation easily for her. From within her family, 3 people were killed. It was mainly Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. He was actually in that battle one of the best fighter ever. For her, it was the plan for Hamza, that was her mission in the battle of Uhud. For Hamza to be killed, no matter what, with a precise planning. What did she do? She hired someone from the disbelievers' camp, that slave she had, the Abyssinian slave she had. And his job, his mission, was to be after Hamza, just to kill Hamza. He was trained precisely, severely, in the best way ever, in order to kill Hamza. Just be trained for so many months, Wahshi hada, in order to kill Hamza by his arrow. Was very clever. He knows what to do. And he was watching Hamza, subhanallah rabbil alameen, in the battle there, till he had a good position of him, and he shot at Hamza radiallahu anhu wa arda with his arrow to kill him. And he was killed. Hamza radiallahu anhu wa arda. Some people might think it ends up at that way. Wahshi, that slave who was hired by Hind bint Utbah in order to kill Hamza, this would be it. That's the revenge she was seeking from Hamza. No, the story did not stop at that point. She had another plan. In order for her to have that severest revenge and retaliation ever, to order Wahshi to open up Hamza radiallahu anhu wa ardah and get his liver out and to chew his liver. Subhanallah. Look at the severity and the wildness of a woman like Hind in order to seek a revenge for those who were killed in her family, in her tribe, and those who were killed as well. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he heard about this, when he have seen that outcome of what happened to Hamza, you cannot imagine how sad he was sallallahu alaihi wasallam to see his uncle, one of the best fighter ever, for this happened to him, not only to be killed by Wahshi, by his arrow after many months of training and in according to the planning of Hind, but to see his belly open up in order for the liver to be taken out and to be chewed by Hind. Many other of the Sahaba were killed as a shuhada, shaheed in this battle. Mus'ab ibn Umayr radiallahu anhu wa ardah, he was carrying the flag of Muslims at that time in that battle. Wallahi, if you can imagine how they killed him, it's beyond anyone's imagination. He was holding that flag of the battle of Muslims with his two arms. They decided to kill him, but in their own way. First shooting him in his right arm, and it was cut. He's holding the banner, the flag, with his left one. They decided to cut the second one. They shoot at him in the second one. He's about to lose that flag, but he kept holding it with his chest and his head and his chin in order to keep rayatul islami aliyatan khaffaqa, in order to keep the flag of Islam up there, not to come to the ground. But they were able to kill him, and immediately the orders and the commands coming from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu wa ardah to carry the flag of that battle of Muslims at that time. That's Mus'ab. Total Muslims and the Sahaba who were killed in this battle was 70 people. Remember, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was about to be killed as well. If you look at the other side and we see how brave Muslims were, the Sahaba, how they fought in the best way ever, the greatest way ever, along with Muhammad